We are now going to create the basic theater structure. Let's assume that 0, 0 is the intersection of the plaster line and the center line in a traditional Broadway-size proscenium theater. We are not going to be concerned that our theater may go off the page area in the design layer. There are 2D locus and 3D locus tools located in the basic palette and 3D modeling toolset respectively. Locus points and datums provide guides for drawing and reference points as needed. You can also convert locus points and other objects into guides. This will move the objects into a guides class, modify the attributes of the objects, and lock them in place. We will now create a couple of lines to represent the center line and plaster line, as well as place a locus point which will be used as a reference for the start of the theater walls. Then we will turn these objects into guides. In the view bar, set the active layer to Theater Architecture. Double-click the Line tool in the Basic palette. Switch the entry mode to Length/Angle in the Create Object dialog box. Set L to 80 feet and A to 90 degrees. Uncheck Position at Next Click. Set the control point to Center, X and Y to 0 inches, and click OK. Repeat steps 1 through 4 with the angle set to 0 degrees. In the Basic palette, double-click the 2D Locus tool. Set X to -35 feet and Y to 0 feet. Click OK. Select Edit, select All. Select Modify, Guides, Make Guide. As you can see, the lines and the locus point have been converted into guides. You can control the visibility of the guides via Modify, Guides, or through the newly created Guides class. You can also modify the attributes of the guides by editing the Guides class. There are 2 wall tools, the wall and the round wall, in the Building Shell toolset. Each have similar drawing options available in the toolbar. The round wall also has options similar to those associated with the circle, arc, and oval tools. In the view bar, set the active class to Theater-Walls. Select the Wall tool in the Building Shell toolset and set the Right Control Line mode in the toolbar. Open the Wall Tool Preferences dialog box by clicking on the Preferences icon in the toolbar. Set the wall's overall thickness to 9 inches and click OK. Click once on the locus point to start the wall. Move the cursor up, then press the Tab key on your keyboard to enter the floating data bar. Enter 30 feet for the length, then press Tab. Enter 90 degrees for the angle. Press Return or Enter to set the length and angle and click once on the page to draw the wall segment. You can also press Enter a second time to draw the segment. Move the cursor to the right, tab into the floating data bar, enter 70 feet for the length, press Tab, and enter 0 degrees for the angle. Press Return twice to create the next segment. Finally, snap the cursor to the plaster line, make sure the Object/Vertical Smart Cursor cue appears, and then double-click to create the walls. Now we will create the proscenium wall. With the Wall tool selected, set the Left Control Line mode in the toolbar. Go back to the Wall Preferences and change the overall thickness to 24 inches. Switch to the Theater-Proscenium class. Click once on the left wall's outside edge and move the cursor to the right. Double-click on the outside edge of the right wall. Use the snap loop, the Z key, if needed. Next, we will adjust the height of the walls and add caps. Select all of the walls by using the Select Similar tool from the Basic palette. Activate the tool, click once on a wall, and all of the walls will be selected. In the Object Info palette, set the height to 50 feet. Set caps to end. Finally, let's adjust the fill color of the theater walls to distinguish them from the proscenium. We can modify attributes of all the theater walls at once by modifying the class settings. Select Tools, Organization, switch to the Classes tab, select the Theater-Walls class, and click Edit. Check the box in the top right corner for Use at Creation. Set the fill style to Solid and the fill color to Gray. Click OK and choose Yes to All in the confirmation dialog box. Click OK on the bottom right of the Organization dialog box to save the changes. A stage can be created in multiple ways. In the Spotlight toolset, there is a Stage tool. This tool works similarly to the Polyline tool. It allows you to draw a stage using multiple vertex and arc modes. You can also convert an existing polyline to a stage by using the Create Stage command in the Event Planning menu. Here, we will first create the shape of the stage and then convert it. First, make the Theater-Stage Floor class active in the view bar. Select the Rectangle tool from the Basic palette. Click once on the upper stage right outside corner of the wall structure and move the cursor to the outside corner of the downstage left wall structure. Click once more to create the rectangle. Next, double-click on the Rectangle tool in the Basic palette. In the Create Object dialog box, set the width to 40 feet and set the height to 3 feet. Now, set the control point of the rectangle to top center and set the X to 0 feet and set Y to -2 feet. Make sure that Position at Next Click is unchecked and click OK to create the rectangle. Select both of the rectangles, select Modify, Add Surface to combine the two rectangles. With the combined polygon still selected, select Event Design, Create Stage. Set the height to 36 inches. Leave the fill and pen color settings at their defaults. Then set the top and side textures to No Texture, if applicable. With the stage still selected in the Object Info palette, set the Z height to -36 inches. Select Modify, Send to Back. Finally, right-click on Windows or Control-click on Mac on the stage and select Lock. Note, setting the Z height to this negative value will place the top of the stage at a 0 elevation. This will make it easier to set the elevation of lighting devices, positions, and soft good objects. Also, locking the stage in place will prevent it from being moved inadvertently later. Now we are going to add a proscenium opening. We will use the Door tool from the Building Shell toolset to create the opening. In the view bar, set the active class to Theater-Proscenium. Activate the Door tool from the Building Shell toolset. Move your cursor over the middle of the downstage wall. You will see a midpoint Smart Cursor cue, and the wall will highlight in red. Double-click to insert the door in the proscenium wall. In the Object Info palette, click the Settings button. Under General, set the width to 40 feet and the height to 18 feet, and set the configuration to Cased Opening. Switch to the Jam tab and set the width to 0 inches, and click OK. Note, setting the jam width to 0 inches creates a proscenium opening the exact width of the apron.